Which some of which you touched on, were you able to determine ROI after implementation? You did touch on that a bit during the conversation, but also what were some, if any, financial considerations that could have stopped the project? And if so, what were the metrics or criteria that you put in place?
That's a tough one. I probably won't answer exactly the way the person is intending to get a reply, but we had a lot of discussion around the dollar aspects, right? Anytime you do an implementation of this size, it's never going to be less expensive than you want it to be, if that's a nice way to say it. So we knew what our budget was. We had an idea on what Salesforce cost, either based from past experience of the acquisitions that we had, or just through working with our local Salesforce.com folks. We also knew potentially how much it would cost to work with a system integrator, and MST was a very good partner in regards to being upfront on how much things cost, both onshore and offshore. And in the time frame that we had for development, you know, we were able to model what this ultimately would cost. So we were always within range of what our budgets were. We exceeded in key areas where we had agreement. It was the right reasons to exceed in key areas, but ultimately taking over the product from MST was always part of our plan. And as we built out Barrett's team, that factored into the cost equations as well, right? How things ramp up and how things ramp down to when you take over the product yourselves as a company. So hopefully that answers the question. I would definitely spend a lot of time modeling this across the number of users you think you may have in the future. As your organization grows, what does that look like? What does it look like to develop the product? How do you sustain it? How do you look at quality? Architects, developers, you know, everything that you need to support, design, and improve the tool moving forward.
Okay. Yeah, Mike, I'll add on there. So one of the things that helped along the way with cost and those kinds of topics is we, you know, and MST worked together really closely on our requirements and got everything into Moscow diagrams. So your must-haves, your should-haves, your could-haves, your would-haves, and you know, came to agreement on what we wanted to accomplish with the project. And then using that, it makes it easier to go back and assess what kind of staff and timeline is needed to get there. And then once you're there, then you have a better idea of the cost.
Okay.